Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. We've got some things to cover today that I think you all are going to want to hear about. Some of them fairly important. One of the things that isn't important, you hear that what's that kid's name? Jussie Mullet or something? Whatever that guy that made up the latest fake hate crime, right? Somebody came after me because I was whatever. And just like, 99% of these so-called hate crimes, racially biased, whatever, it turns out that the people did it themselves, right? They did it themselves. But man, and props to the investigators, because the investigators, these people are so stupid. They have come to believe that all they have to do is to make a charge and the whole world's going to believe them. Why do they believe that? Because the whole world, not us, of course, but too many people in the world have historically for the last 40, 50 years, just been too happy to jump on board and assume that, yes, any claim of racism or bias or whatever is automatically true because, remember, you have to believe the victim. Well, this little victim non-victim got his butt slapped. I guess he's doing a few months in jail. He ought to do more than that, but I guess he's doing a few. So that came out. You know the interesting thing. Excuse me. I keep bringing this up, take a sip, and then I think about something else to say. Interesting thing is that even as these things happen over and over and over again, people don't learn. Does that say something about their intelligence? It says something about both their intelligence and the assumption that they have gotten that society will continue to believe them. So, and there is half of the society will, right? This will continue. We're still, hands up, don't shoot, and every one of those other examples of misreporting and lies and perjury that burn down city after city after city. Okay, enough of that. We know that those people over there are, we know what they are. So no use talking about that anymore today. I'm just happy to hear that Jussie Mullet, whatever his name is, got the spanking he deserved. We have something here. Do you all use DuckDuckGo? I do. I started using it a long time ago. It's supposedly is it supposedly or supposedly? Every time I write that word, which I do occasionally, I have to look it up. I can't ever remember. If anybody out there, any English teachers out there can come up with a way that I can remember it, please leave it in the comments. I would be forever grateful to you. Anyway, oh my God. I'm sorry. I was starting to look at something, and I look down here, and I see a picture of two men in close facial proximity, and it says Pete Buttigieg's husband led children in the LGBT Pledge of Allegiance. Do you all want to hear that? This wasn't on my list today. It was not on my list. This just popped up. I have never heard of the LGBT Pledge of Allegiance. First off, I want to make very clear, I am not making fun of anybody out there who is dealing with their own issues. Okay. We all have issues. Some are different than others. But what just blows me away is this, and maybe I'll read this in a minute, and then I'll say, oops, okay, I was wrong, but I doubt it. We'll see, okay? It's like, what is it, the Black National Anthem that is now sung at all the NFL games or whatever? And now there's an LGBT Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know how to feel about this because I haven't read it yet. But I will. I saw this down there. And I'll read it to you. We'll just see before we get into our normal. Okay. Watch as Chasten, I don't know what his name is, but it just leads kids in the pledge to the rainbow flag, to the gay agenda for which it stands. I'm not sure how much of this I will be able to read. I will put the link to this over on the Patreon page. Okay, I'm going to put the link for everything that we covered today over on the Patreon page, which reminds me, welcome everybody. I didn't even welcome. Did I welcome you? Well, anyway, I meant to welcome everybody and to welcome everybody who has also joined us and supported us over by becoming a patron on Patreon. We really appreciate that. If you want to support the channel, that's a great way to do it. The other way, I guess, and I should have started with my commercial, since the hosts of this throw in their own commercials sometimes and say that this episode is brought to you by The Reversion, my book by Stephen C. Smith. See that? That's me. That's right. Want proof? There's me. The Reversion, the first of the Stonemont series, first of 5 books. Now available, all of them on Amazon in either paperback or Kindle. And they talk about how to survive, the collapse of society, the collapse of the world, and how to rebuild it the right way. If you all like this channel, you'll like those books. Back to this. Chasten Buttigieg, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg's husband, reportedly led children in a pledge of allegiance to the gay pride LGBT flag during an unearthed video from 2019. Buttigieg had the young children recite the following pledge. I pledge my heart to the rainbow of the not-so-typical gay camp, to the gay agenda for which it stands, one camp full of pride, indivisible, with affirmation and equal rights for all. Okay. Buttigieg ended the pledge by waving the rainbow flag across the children's view. The video is reportedly from a Democrat presidential primary campaign stopped during Pete Buttigieg's unsuccessful 2020 candidacy. The video shows Buttigieg wearing a shirt that reads, "Not your typical gay camp," which is the slogan of Iowa Safe Schools Pride Camp. That's the second time Iowa's made it into our news in the last couple of days, isn't it? Okay. I'm not going to go any farther into this. I definitely have my feelings about this. I am restricted from expressing those feelings if I want to keep, you know what I mean, okay? I'm going to talk a little bit more about these kinds of things tomorrow, but that was a surprise. I will put this up over so you can read it. I think they have, let me see. Yeah, they have the video here. If you want to see the video, you'll be able to watch it over on our Patreon channel. Okay. Let me get back to what I was talking about, how I started this before I was derailed by that. Y'all use DuckDuckGo, right? Okay, I have too. I've used it for a while. I was almost said years. I'm not sure if it's been out for years. Why does my screen keep darkening on me? I think I'm going blind, and then I just realized the screen. Anyway, and of course, it's supposed to be the alternative to Google, right? The one that doesn't track you, doesn't hold back search results, everything like that, right? I never trusted it. I'll be honest with you. I don't trust any of these things that come out and say, we guarantee your privacy. Okay. First off, there isn't anything out there except apparently the Apple phone, the iPhone, that the government can't hack, and I'm sure they could if they wanted to. And they might just be making up these stories. We can't hack it to drive everybody to go over and get iPhones. Who knows, right? But there's nothing that can't be hacked, and there's nothing that those who want to see what you're talking about can't get into if they want to. Okay, so it's kind of like I've said. If I was the big power that be, and I wanted to find out what everybody was saying who didn't want me to hear it, I would I would put together a company and promote it as the place that's about privacy, and that you can come over here and we're not going to let your records out. We're not going to let anybody know. We're not going to blah, 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 right? Then I just sit back and see, okay, who showed up and what are they talking about? So I don't trust this stuff at all. But I know a lot of people do. So here's a couple of stories for those of you who do, and an alternative. The first one here is from a couple of days ago. Breaking. This is from the Blue State Conservative. Boy, that's got to be a lonely job. Being a conservative in a blue state. Breaking. Google alternative conservative-friendly DuckDuckGo participates in woke censorship of so-called misinformation. It says, we should have known better. I should have known better. What was billed as the secure alternative. I know I keep doing this. For those of you who are just listening to me, maybe washing the dishes, aren't watching me, I'm making those little finger quotes up there, okay? We should know better. I should have known better. What was billed as a secure alternative to Google's data siphoning search engine has turned out to be no better at belaying the leftist barrage, hi sweetie, of downvoting unacceptable speech. What good is valuing my privacy if you don't value my free speech or my access to viewpoints? Right. Joining the countless other companies at destroying lives and freedom, DuckDuckGo announced via their CEO's Twitter feed that the company would begin engaging in effective immediately the censorship of articles or sites that promote, gasp, skepticism at the corporate media's approved narrative. Skepticism. That's a polite word for what most of us feel, right? Okay, and enough of that. Let me go to another one here. Let's see. This is a Google article. Yeah, DuckDuckGo will downrank what it decides is disinformation. See if they have anything to add. Popular privacy-focused search engine DuckDuckGo, commonly considered an alternative to Google, has announced that it will be downranking sites associated with disinformation, along with adding information boxes to highlight quality information. The announcement received widespread backlash from DuckDuckGo supporters who view the changes as adopting the censorship policies of the masters of the universe. Yes. Okay. Now, so what is one to do? Well, there seems to be another one, and we heard about this one through a group with which we are involved, and they had suggested something called Brave. If any of you have used this and know anything about it, please let us know. Put it down in the comments, share it, because I don't know that much about it. I'm just going to put this out there for anybody who might want to try it. So if you all have had good luck with it, let us know. If you have not, if you have had bad luck with it, let us know. And any insiders out there, let us know what you think. Okay, so Brave Search and Pre-Search say they don't censor search results. The announcements followed DuckDuckGo ending its neutrality. Where do we get this from? This is from freedomfirstnetwork.com. After DuckDuckGo announced that it would be abandoning its years-long commitment to unbiased search results by downranking so-called Russian information, two alternative search engines, Brave Search and Pre-Search, and I don't know anything about Pre-Search. Now, I have downloaded the Brave browsers or search engines onto both the laptop and my phone. We'll see how that works. I don't know anything about pre-search, so please, if you know about that one, let us know with that too. It says Brendan Eich, the CEO of Brave Software, the company behind the privacy-focused Brave browser, Brave search, and other products, told journalist and producer Naomi Brockwell that Brave Search doesn't censor its results and detailed how Brave Search is expanding its own search index. It says currently over 90% of Brave Search's queries are provided by its independent search index, which was built from scratch. Ike noted that Brave Search currently relies on Bing for less than 10% of queries where it doesn't have good results, and acknowledged that this fallback could be censored. We'll get to full independence, he says. So there's that. There's more to this, but like I said, I'll put it up over there. And oops, I knocked off a couple. I got to put those back up. I'll put those, but I'm sure it will be stuff that I don't understand. So I'll just put them up over there on Patreon, and you all can read it for yourselves. The next thing, okay, Disney, all you Disney fans, right? Happiest place in the world, Disney World or Disneyland or wherever it is. I've been there once, wasn't impressed, didn't like it. We've never taken our kids. We won't take our kids because we object to the things that Disney stands for and puts out, just like I won't buy furniture from Nebraska Furniture Mart. I don't finance the enemy. Disney CEO, this is from Breitbart, Disney CEO caves to leftists, pledges $5 million to LGBTQ groups over, I never know when to stop with the letters. Anyway, he pledges $5 million to LGBTQ groups over Florida bill barring sexuality instruction for kids. Okay, you all know what this is about, right? They're putting together a bill in Florida that is making it illegal for there to be in sexuality instruction to little kids from toddler to, I don't know, but very young. Why would anybody want to talk about sexuality with kids that young at all? Well, we know why, don't we? They're grooming them. They are interjecting their ways on the society at large, and they're counting on the tolerance of the people to allow that to happen. And the tolerance of the people has allowed it to happen to a great extent, and that's why we are out here doing the things we're doing and feeling the ways that we're feeling. He says, so now Disney CEO Bob Chapek, he's given $5 million to the LGBT groups who are fighting this Florida bill that would restrict the teaching of sexuality and transgenderism to kids in kindergarten through third grade. So Disney thinks that your little kindergartners through third graders should be taught about sexuality and transgenderism by their teachers. How many of you want to go to Disney World now, huh? Or have anything to do with it? How about even better than that? How about we start speaking out against this actively? Okay. Let's go on. More in the realm of social media. It appears now, remember how for years we couldn't say anything good about Nazis? Right? I mean, right. And if you just wanted to nail somebody, now I have never called anybody a Nazi because for a whole lot of reasons, some of which would not be popular. But if a person really wanted to hammer somebody, they called them a Nazi, right? Well, apparently, it's not that bad anymore. Okay, because Facebook and Instagram say it is okay to support Nazism in Ukraine, and they modify terms allowing advocacy for death to Russians. Okay, you remember, and I put a link some time ago on how we doing on time. I feel like I'm talking a long time. And I talked about the Azov battalion, whatever it is, I forget, the group, the neo-Nazi group, Ukrainian neo-Nazi group. Do you remember how everybody scoffed and poo-pooed when Putin says we are denazifying Ukraine? And it was anybody who knew anything about it knew it was these were Nazi groups in Ukraine. Ukrainian Nazi groups is a part of their military. Okay, so now that everybody is Ukraine, pray for Ukraine. Now that they've discovered, and they can't get away from the fact, yes, these were neo-Nazi groups. Well, now what to do, right? So now it's okay. Let's see if it says anything here. Dropping all pretense of their hidden ideology. Reuters is reporting exclusively that Facebook and Instagram have modified their terms and conditions to permit advocacy and support for the Nazi Party in Ukraine, the Azov Regiment. That's the word I was looking for. Regiment, not battalion. And they have modified their violence terms to allow platform users to advocate for death to Russians. Okay. Something to keep in mind, right? Do we know who the enemies are? We know. Let's get out there and share some of this stuff and start showing who the enemies are. Well, what order do I want to do this in? Excuse me while I go back and forth for a minute. If we get a chance, have you heard about Cyber Polygon? Don't know if we'll get a chance to that. Let me do this in order. Breaking. This is from Gateway Pundit. Russia releases alleged captured documents. Remember when they said that there were these biolabs over in Ukraine? And all of our people were saying, no, and we have to be very afraid because Russia, we have to be afraid of a biological weapon over there. Okay. And Russia was saying, hey, there's all these American-financed biolabs, bioweapons labs in Ukraine. And our people were saying, no, not at all. Don't look at that. No reason to be concerned. Until, who was it? It was Rubio, right? And I'm no fan of Rubio. But he got that woman to admit, well, yes, actually there are biolabs, level 3 biolabs, all over Ukraine. America has them all over the world, and there's something like 30 or 60 or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Got a bunch of them over in Ukraine. Why do we have these in Ukraine? Very interesting. So, breaking. Russia releases the alleged captured documents before a UN Special Council meeting exposing evidence of U.S. military biolabs in Ukraine. Very interesting. I'm not going to go through this. I've got a couple other things to get to. U.S. officials, I'll just put this tab in. Like I said, I'll put the link over on Patreon. U.S. officials have offered varying responses to Russia's claims, which included things like, no. Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland, for example, told lawmakers on Tuesday, that was her response to Rubio, on Tuesday, that Ukraine does, in fact, have biological research facilities in the country. Well, when you get down into it more, and there's a lot more in here, guess what? Guess who's telling the truth? Is it the Ruskies or is it the U.S.? It ain't the U.S. Now, here, the WHO, that makes me think of Whoville, doesn't it? The World Health Organization has recommended that Ukraine destroy high-threat pathogens at U.S.-funded biolabs. Okay. This goes over there too. The World Health Organization has advised Ukraine to destroy high-threat pathogens housed in the country's public health laboratories to prevent any potential spills that would spread disease among the population. Uh-huh. Okay. So the WHO says we got biolabs over there. Now, we have it from our very own political mouthpiece, Jen Psaki, who says Russia could use chemical or biological weapons in Ukraine. Whose weapons would she be using? Would they be using? White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said on Wednesday the Biden administration will be actively monitoring for Russia to use biological or chemical weapons in Ukraine after Vladimir Putin accused the West of harboring a biological weapons program in the country. I love that. See, who do we have here? This is Breitbart. Yeah. So they're not the Breitbart that they used to be. This is they claimed, right? Let's go down here. Russia sparked a firestorm this week when it alleged that American labs were researching biological weapons in Ukraine. Exactly, a firestorm. No, we didn't. No, we're not. The Foreign Ministry of Russia claimed on Tuesday that the nation's military had confirmed the existence of American-funded biological laboratories in Ukraine used for developing biological weapons. Russian troops reportedly found documentation showing Ukrainian scientists destroying evidence of plague, anthrax, rabbit fever, cholera, and other lethal diseases studied in the country's laboratories on February 24th, according to a statement from Foreign Ministry spokesman Maria Zakharova, as part of their ongoing assault on the country. Well, they were there. They were there. No, they weren't. Yeah, they were. Okay. They're dragging us into this thing. And they're doing the same thing they always do. And I'll keep saying, Gulf of Tonkin. Okay. Let's see. Have we already? Yeah, we already did Pete. Ooh, I don't want to do that again either. Something that I will say no, I don't have time for that. I'm going to put the link over on Patreon about why did the World Economic Forum just remove the Cyber Polygon page from their website. And if you don't know what Cyber Polygon is, you want to. And get ready for it. It's a drill. It's a training situation about a worldwide cyber pandemic. I'll put it that way. And what so often happens after a training scenario or a drill, right? I'm going to stop it there for today. They continue with everything that they're doing. It's almost impossible to keep up. What can we do? The most that we can do right now is keep up with what's going on, see it with a clear eye, look at all aspects of a situation, get our information from a variety of sources, identify the veracity of those sources, make our judgments, and share our thoughts and opinions with those that we know. They are in a huge psychological operation, a huge propaganda operation. They are so big that we can't hope to beat them at it, but what we can hope to do is to mitigate the impact of it by trying to educate more people who believe the way we do and simply may not be as informed as we are. And that's why I put this out, and this is why I'm going to put all these links over on the Patreon channel so that if you want to share them with family and friends and whatever, you'll be able to send them the link. Feel free, and please do share this. We always ask. Thank you. Share these videos with people that you know. Ask them to join. Ask them to subscribe. Ask them to give us a thumbs up. And please, I'm sure you all do anyway. So we're doing what we can. We don't want to know what's going to happen, but we have to do everything we can. So stay up on it. Remember, America needs a reversion if it's not going to go to the next step. Whether we'll be able to accomplish that, we don't know. But whatever that next step is, whatever we have to do, we have to do it. So you all have a good day. Read all this stuff I put over there, share it with your friends, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.